Hello and welcome to another episode of the Simple Marketing Show. Mostafa Hosseini here. Today I'm talking about list building. Last week we talked about building lead magnets. If you haven't watched that episode or if you haven't listened to it, I shared the simplest, fastest, surefire way for you to find lead magnets today, turning into a beautiful lead magnet using your friend ChatGPT to give it content and context and put it out there in different formats. Okay. So if you haven't watched the previous episodes on how to create lead magnets, you should really go back and listen to that or watch it. It was only 5 or 6 minutes. So in these episodes, in these micro episodes, I'm sharing a tip and a strategy to help your business become more recession proof as we move forward. Okay. So let's say that you put the lead out there, the lead magnet out there, and you attract a bunch of leads. A bunch of people raise their hand, they show up and say, look, I'm interested in what you got. Let me read, let me engage, and the rest of it. So you use the lead magnet to basically bring people in and show them what you got. Now, let me share my screen. Once people come in, you have a few different lead types. Okay. So about 1 or 2% of the people that you bring in using your lead magnets would be ready to buy right now. 1 to 2% and maybe like 3%, but it's a small amount of people that are ready to buy now. Okay. About 10 to 20% of them will buy in short term. And short term in different businesses and different industries means different length of time, but let's call short term anywhere from 1 to 6 weeks, right? If they buy in 1 to 6 weeks, we call that short term. And here's the real important information. About 80% of people on your list, or 80% of your leads, will eventually buy from you within 18 months of the first point of contact. Okay. 80% will buy within 18 months of the first point of contact. Okay. Now, the biggest mistake that many businesses make is they do not stay in touch with their leads for not even a month. The stats are that between 40 to 60% of salespeople follow up once and they stop. Okay. And the other stat shows that about 80% of leads will buy within 18 months. So you have to have a plan and a system in place to stay in touch with them for at least 18 months until they are ready to buy. So for that, you've got to have your list. List building is an absolute must for marketing and sales. If you don't have a list, you're going to have a really hard time marketing and growing your business. Here are different types of lists that you can have. I'm going to go through a few and I'm going to share with you some list building strategies. Okay. Now, these are lists of different people that you would have their phone number, email address, first name, last name, and different data about the people on your list, and you would add to it as you go. So first is your opt-in forms, downloads that you have on your website to different things that you offer. So these are people that go into different lists segmented by the type of stuff that they have downloaded. You meet people, right? Either face-to-face prospects or whatnot. You have to keep a list. It is mind-boggling how many companies I come across where they meet with like 1, 2, 3, 10 people a day, and they do not keep a proper list of those people. The next type of list is your list of the proposals or the sales meeting that you've done. These people definitely need to go on a specific list that you could follow up with after. Networking. A lot of us attend networking events. We attend conventions, seminars, webinars, and whatnot, and you meet a lot of people online and offline, right? And with the in-person meetings and networking events, you collect a lot of business cards. What you should do, here's a little simple tip for you. Ask them here's the question I always ask. Do you mind if I add you to our newsletter? We send a newsletter out every month educating people about different aspects of sales and marketing. And if you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe. I have never, ever seen anybody say, no, Mostafa, you cannot add me to your list. Now, naturally, we meet between 80 to 100 people a year. So over a span of 10 years, you should have at least 1,000 people on your list. Okay, so add them to your list and start sending them educational, content every week, every day, every month, however you deal with that. Webinars. So these are educational, training and other things that you hold, basically to train and educate people. Again, categorized as the way they are. Seminars that you run, social media followers. So your social media followers are actually part of your list, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and whatnot. Those people are actually part of your list. So here's another tip for you for list building. You know how you have a link on your social media, a website link that people could actually go to visit your website? You got to turn that link and the message into a lead magnet. Download my checklist, download my course, and watch this short little video training. So you turned all of your social media accounts into a list building kind of machine. Okay. And eventually, surely or fastly, you would, build your list through your social media accounts. Then there's giveaways that's where you give away stuff to, again, build your list. So here are some tools for you to start building your list if you haven't started yet. Number one, my favorite to start with, if you don't have it, is your invoicing software. Okay. The beauty of invoicing software is that it forces you to enter your customers' information into the invoicing software so you can send them the invoice. And over time, as customers come in, you're slowly but surely building your list of customers. Now you can export that list and start marketing to the list and stay in touch with them. Again, the key word here is staying in touch. So your CRM software, that's when you manage your customer information, and they're all there. Your email software, anything from Constant Contact to Infusionsoft, Active Campaign, and there's like a ton of them out there. That's where you would basically on your website connect your download page and the download form to your email software. So whoever downloads your stuff, they automatically get added to your email list. Here's another one that is overlooked a lot of times, and that is your website contact forms. You know how you have a contact form and a contact page, and people fill that out to get in touch? You should have a mechanism to kind of add those people to your email list, because you may be getting, a few dozens a day, a week, a year, but over time, that also adds to your email list, which you could use for your marketing. Now, once you have a list, what you could do with them is that you can establish credibility and expertise and show them that you're the real deal and you can help them with your specialty. And then you can show them the value of working with you. Okay. So with a list, you can engage and nurture the people forever until they are either ready to buy from you or they would refer people to you. Now, if you don't have a list and if you don't actively engage and nurture your list, you're leaving a ton of money on the table. Okay. So it is an absolute must for you. Again, and with a list, you could do a drip campaign, send them educational content. So you can educate them about the different types of issues, problems, and challenges that they are facing and experiencing. You can also educate them about different aspects of your product. You could educate them with market data, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. Use the list to call them and set up meetings and stay in touch. You've got to call your entire list every 3 or 4 months in a very friendly and nurturing way, not in a pushy, salesy way. Just stay in touch. Hey, how is it going? Looks like you downloaded this and that from our website. Just wondering what you're building. What are you working on? How can I help? And take it from there, right? So again, in a very friendly and nurturing way. Social media posts. All the content, the educational stuff that you have, post it on your social media, send it to them through email, because different people consume content through different means. Some people like to read, some people like to listen, some people like to watch stuff. Now, when it comes to social media, video is probably the most engaging type of content. People love watching video, but you could also do audio and text and images and the rest of it. But you got to be building your social media list and following. Blogs and articles are, again, on the topics that you want to educate them on, issues, fears, frustrations, and whatnot. And nowadays, you could use Chat GPT to come up with a blog, an article, in a matter of seconds. Now, you might be saying, oh, that's too, AI-ish, right? Grab it, modify it, edit it, add your tone into it, and then email it to people, post it on social media, and engage people, right? So, downloads, give people checklists, ebooks, books. Again, ChatGPT is really helping with all of that in a matter of seconds. So there's no excuse for anybody really to not do this, and show them the value of what you can do. Another thing you could share with people to stay in touch and provide value is case studies and client stories, reviews and testimonials. Send it to them. Here's what people are saying about us. And then you could do a little bit of market research to get some market data, numbers and stats, and send it to people. For example, I'll give you some stats here. Studies show that only 1 out of 26 people, 1 out of 26 unhappy and angry customers will speak up. The rest of them will fade away in silence, and you're going to lose them. And unless you stay in touch with your customers, you would not talk to the other 25 customers that are unhappy and unsatisfied, right? So that's a market insight. That's a study that we have done some search and Google searches and whatnot to find it. So you could use that information to stay in touch with your list. So that is the basics of list building. It is an absolute must. When I first started, some of my friends told me, Mostafa, are you list building? And I gave them the smartass, clever, idiotic response like, oh, yeah, I got it. Of course I'm list building. And I wasn't list building, and I really hurt myself big time. So whether you're starting a business or you've been around for a while, it is mind-boggling how many people and how many companies I come across where they're still using Outlook to manage contacts. They don't even have like a proper CRM to stay in touch with their customers. And they are, believe me, leaving multiple 6 or 7 or 8 figures on the table, no questions asked. If you don't have a list, and if you're not staying in touch, if you're not nurturing and engaging your customers, you are leaving money on the table, guaranteed. Hope this was useful. I would love to hear your feedback and your stories about list building and what you're doing on list building. I would love to hear what you found as to be the most vital point from this episode. Leave a comment below, and would love to hear back from you. And I'm sharing actually the checklist to simple retention formula that will allow you to actually stay in touch with your list about a topic we're working on. There's a checklist there for you to download and hopefully get some value from it. Thank you for joining us. Have yourself a great day. Mostafa here. Bye now.